A Dog Called Houdini, Chapter 5. Houdini. Deep in disgust, shame, and mud, O'Malley gave up and made for home. He was in a barking mood himself and snapped at his wife. "Coffee!" he demanded. She wiped her hands on her apron. "What's the matter, Rodney? What's wrong?" "Coffee!" he repeated. She plugged in the kettle. She knew that something awful had happened to her man by his clothes and face. Had he been in a fight? Or had he only fallen in the mud? She didn't ask again. Soon, O'Malley was drinking his third cup of coffee. He stood by the window looking out at nothing. Finally, he was ready to talk, although he wasn't really confiding in his wife. He was merely speaking out loud, letting his frustrations out, and she happened to hear. "Damn dog," he said. "Shamed me. Made fun of me. I'll get him," he vowed. "What dog, Rod?" "Just a dog." "He must be a mighty tough one." She spoke softly, unlike O'Malley, who was loud and brittle in his speech. She was plump. He was lean. She stood well above his short frame. "Black and white?" she asked. He snorted and sat down at the table again. "A new dog in town? Always fighting other dogs?" she asked. "Dang dog," he repeated morosely. "Yes, there's a lot to talk about him," she said. "I'll get him," he said, flipping the pages of a reader their only son, Red, had left on the table. Red was in school. "They complain, then they won't lend a hand," he continued. "Never mind, I'll get him." He looked down at himself. "Leg me into a mud puddle," he said. Lifting the lid from one of the steaming pots on the stove, she stirred the contents around, then dipped up a spoonful and tasted. O'Malley got up. "Don't wander far, lunch will be ready soon." "I ain't hungry." She did not argue. She rarely did. This was one of his bad days. Out in the driveway, he picked up his net from his truck. Mr. Ames, who was keeping an eye on O'Malley's door, stepped out and met him on the sidewalk. O'Malley felt Ames had ruined his first effort. He hated to meet the man a second time, yet here he was. "Having another go at him, Rod?" "Down right I am." "I'll get my net." "Don't have to, Godfrey." "What are friends for, Rod? Besides, I have more than a passing interest in that dog. He's been worrying my dandy a lot." "Suit yourself," O'Malley grunted. O'Malley was wise in the ways of dogs. He had decided that this dog would be having a noon hour nap now, and such a wanted dog with no yard of his own to sleep in would find himself a no dog's land for his nap. So O'Malley began to work his way along the rail line, looking for such a place. Suddenly he froze, motioning Ames to be quiet. He pointed to the culvert beneath them. The culvert conducted ditch water under the railway, but now the ditch was dry. It was an ideal place for a dog to take a nap. A strategy that was hastily mapped out. Mr. Ames took up his position at one end, while O'Malley slipped down to block the other. Sure enough, when they both stooped and looked into the large pipe at the same time, they saw their quarry. But he was not sleeping now, for the hunters had awakened him. His head was up, his ears erect. "Your net!" O'Malley shouted at Ames. "Block your end up!" They both blocked the exits at the same time. By now, the dog had realized his desperate situation. He would have to do something, and the sooner the better. He stood stiff-legged, every muscle tensed. Wheeling in the tunnel, he seemed to be sizing up each face that peered at him from behind the net. While he pondered, he snarled. Did he detect indecision in Mr. Ames? Barking and showing a set of nasty white fangs, he rushed at him. Mr. Ames was not a dog catcher. He wanted the dog caught, but not enough to get himself bitten. Besides, the barrel of the culvert amplified the dog's barks. The white teeth flashed in the gloom. Ames pulled back instinctively, and the dog shot free. Furious, O'Malley began to shout at Ames as he raced up the slope, chasing the dog along the railway tracks. This time, however, he was gaining on his quarry. The dog's recent sleep had left him groggy and slow. From behind them, a train approached, slowing down to stop at the station. Its bell was clanging, but O'Malley paid it no mind except to make sure he was out of the way. He continued to gain on the dog. The train was running alongside them now, the man, the dog, and the train, all moving in the same direction. The train slowed more and more, but it was still in motion when the dog stopped, leapt aboard a flat car, almost lost his footing, then scrambled back upright. Turning, he barked once at O'Malley before he jumped off the far side, safe and sound and free. Blocked him from his quarry by the moving train, O'Malley threw down his net in an awesome rage and stormed at the train, the dog and Godfrey Ames. But although Ames had been left far behind, he had nonetheless seen the unusual escape and was impressed. He rushed up to where O'Malley stood. "Did you see that, Rodney?" he shouted. "What an escape! That dog is a super dog." The word super dog and the respect with which Ames uttered it made O'Malley suddenly loathe Godfrey Ames. A great help he was, praising the dog he had helped to escape. Speechless, O'Malley turned his back on Ames and strode back to the house. But Ames began to admire the dog that was so human in its behavior, so clever in its escapes, an underdog that had outsmarted two such clever dog catchers. Instead of going home, Ames went right to the Pratley Hotel. He felt like talking. He knew a legend was being born, and he knew that he was a part of it. This soon after opening time, the hotel had only a few customers, but Ames spotted two of his friends sitting at a table and joined them. Big Finn, a retired lumberjack, and one of the men who went to the hotel regularly, brought out his wallet. "Sit down, Godfrey. I'll buy you a drink." After Ames had emptied his glass, he began to praise the super dog. "Greatest dog there is. Nobody will catch that one. Not O'Malley for sure. No, sir. You should have seen what he did to us. We got him cornered, see? In the culvert. 2 nets, one at each net. And we thought we had him. But I tell you, he came barreling out of the culvert, and I had to give. He's got teeth on him like a wolf. I was glad to give way. Then we chased him up the tracks. The train was coming in. You boys heard it come in. A freight train. A long one. We chased him along the train, and you should have seen that dog. He hopped on the moving train." "Come on, Godfrey. Hopped aboard a train? A dog?" "That's it, boys. It's the truth. You never heard of a dog that hopped on a train before? Well, this one did. Hopped right onto a flat car, looked round at O'Malley and grinned at him. Yes, sir, that was a grin. Then he barked at him, and then the darn dog jumped off on the other side safe and free. I tell you, that dog is an escape artist. That's a fact. Yes, sir, a real escape artist, just like Houdini." And that was how the super dog got his name, Houdini. Chapter 6. Super Dog. For O'Malley, the next weeks were wretched ones. The dog became an obsession with him. As he spent more and more time roaming the town trying to find and catch Houdini, his trapping business suffered, for his traps were not checked regularly. Yet he had no luck catching the dog. Houdini remained free. O'Malley found that he couldn't even relax at the local hotel without having some joker make wisecracks about the dog. "Seen that super dog around today, O'Malley? Houdini catch any trains today, dog catcher?" He found out too that the hotel patrons were betting on the day Houdini would be caught, and even about whether he would be caught at all. O'Malley began to avoid public places. He wouldn't answer the phone. He was surely to his family. His wife kept quiet, and his son stayed away from home as much as possible. Meanwhile, Houdini was gaining admirers. Godfrey Ames, for example. Although he continued to love and care for his own dog, Dandy, he said he had to give credit where credit was due. That was some dog. Among the children, Houdini won many friends. The idea of a super dog caught their imagination, and they spent endless hours at school drawing him on the covers of their scribblers and on the tops of their desks. Houdini was shown whipping a whole pack of huge dogs, hopping aboard a fast-moving diesel, mocking the dog catcher. After school, fans of the super dog pinned posters of him on O'Malley's fence, a prank which made the little man even angrier, even more humiliated. Some also chalked taunts on the sidewalks outside his house. From underdog to superdog. Houdini, dog escape artist. Quit hounding Houdini. One local poet wrote a song about the dog. Houdini, a dog named Houdini, black and white devil, smart as a fox, quick as a goat. Houdini, a dog named Houdini, led catcher O'Malley to a sprawl in a puddle. Houdini, a dog named Houdini, cornered in a culvert, but came out like a bullet. Houdini, a dog named Houdini, hopped on a train to the catcher's shame. One boy, Tommy Wren, went home one day and asked his mother if his dog could have pups for Superdog. "Pups?" asked the startled mother. "Yes, I want him for their daddy," the child explained. "No, Tommy," cried his mother. "We don't want any pups of that rascal in the house. Go and wash up for dinner." But parents could not squelch their children's respect for the dog. Cans of dog food disappeared from cupboards at a remarkable rate as children secretly fed him. He began to live very well indeed. Houdini made friends among the adults too. He was the most talked about dog the town had ever had, and some began to hope that he would continue to evade O'Malley. He was the subject of endless conversations. People wondered where he had come from, how he had got so smart, how long he would evade the dog catcher. He gave the people something to laugh about and something to bet on. Of course, now that he was being fed by so many of the town's children, he had little need for stealing other dogs' food or fighting with them. Naturally, resentment towards him cooled. But not everyone was his friend. The grade 4 teacher, Mr. Ogden, for example. His dog, a purebred collie without a whit of courage, had been publicly whipped by the stray dog when he first arrived in town. Mr. Ogden, therefore, was not at all amused when children began defacing their desks, a forbidden activity at any time, with pictures of that rascally tramp dog. Then he caught Willie Benson carving Houdini's name into the windowsill by the pencil sharpener. Mr. Ogden was furious and told Willie he would have to pay to have the damage repaired. Willie went home crying and asked his father for the money. Unfortunately, Mr. Benson had been out of work for 2 months and was in no mood to hand over any money. He marched off to the school and angrily accosted Mr. Ogden as he sat in his classroom after school marking notebooks. The teacher looked up as the door was flung open. "Ah, Mr. Benson," he said, rising. But Mr. Benson was not in a talking mood. "You'll get not one red cent of money from me," he shouted angrily. "You bleed me dry in my taxes already." "But Mr. Benson, and that dog of yours is a yellow coward, and the super dog is worth 10 of him. And if you're such a wonderful teacher, why don't you teach your dog to fight?" At that, Mr. Ogden forgot he was a teacher and got mad. When the principal, attracted by the noise, came bursting into the room, he found Mr. Ogden and Mr. Benson standing only whiskers apart, shouting in each other's face and emphasizing each insult with a shove or a push. The principal got Mr. Ogden out of there fast and calmed Mr. Benson down with the promise that Willie could repair the damage himself with sandpaper, thus saving his father the money. At the next staff meeting, he reminded the staff that they were professionals and that they must always be calm. The other teachers were furious. They said that if a teacher could be attacked in his classroom for merely doing his duty, something was wrong somewhere. They urged that all writers of graffiti about that dog should be suspended immediately. The principal replied that indeed they had a problem with graffiti and doodles, but overreacting was only adding fuel to the fire. He looked at Mr. Ogden when he said this. Mr. Ogden looked out the window. Back in the classroom, Willie was sanding away quietly. But that was not all. Many of the other students in Mr. Ogden's room were furious at Willie for getting their favorite teacher into trouble. They felt Willie should not have run to his father. In fact, they called him a rat fink, which led to a fight in the playground at recess. Soon, the father of the boy who fought Willie was involved in a feud with Mr. Benson. Then the story got to the school board, for Mr. Benson wanted Mr. Ogden fired. The school board said they would look into the situation. Mr. Ogden was not fired, though he was cautioned about controlling his temper. Everyone had an opinion on the subject. Some were for Mr. Ogden and wrote letters to the local newspaper giving their support. Others criticized him in letters to the board. The town was divided. The mayor sat in his office as the controversy raged through the town. He had only one question. Why was the dog still loose? Chapter 7. A Plan. To add to the injury, Houdini boldly began to hang out in the vacant lot beside O'Malley's backyard. The dog catcher was infuriated by this to the point where his wife feared for what the dog might do to her husband's nerves and his trapping business. But Houdini knew precisely what he was doing. He had come to rank O'Malley as enemy number one. From his vantage point, he could watch the dog catcher's movements, which put O'Malley at a disadvantage. Was the super dog making fun of him? People made jokes about a dog catcher with a stray mutt camping out beside his backyard. The mayor was furious. He called O'Malley in. "What do you think we look like?" he stormed. "Laughing stocks? That's what. Do something, man." "You want me to shoot him?" O'Malley asked. "Good grief, no. That would be political suicide." "I'm no politician, Mayor. I'm just a dog catcher. Dog control officer to you. And shooting controls any dog. We have everybody on our backs shooting a dog. Good heavens, no. Don't you know the bylaws of this town? Don't you know that the use of firearms inside the town limits is unlawful?" O'Malley was unmoved. "I could poison him." "O'Malley!" The mayor threw up his arms. He paced the floor as he spoke. "You're positively mad. Poison? No, no, no. But wait a minute. Wait a doggone minute." Gradually, the mayor's anger turned to hope. "Poison, you say?" "No, not poison. Something else, O'Malley. We'll do him in yet. We'll use something else, something better, something less offensive. Not to kill him, just to... I saw it on television. Why didn't we think of this before? Tranquilizers, O'Malley. Tranquilizers. That will fix him, won't it? Sure it will. O'Malley's eyes were shining, and a faint smile pulled his face up. Fix him some in a meal, the mayor went on. That dog will stuff it and topple over asleep. You see it on TV every day. Only the use of a gun to deliver the tranquilizer. We'll fix him, won't we, O'Malley? It's a good idea, Mayor, O'Malley agreed. Pleased with himself, the mayor strode around his office. Now, I'll get these people off my back. Off your back as well. O'Malley was smiling broadly now. He shook the mayor's hand. Will do, Mayor, he said. Will do. Before he left, he accepted one of the mayor's cigars. Out on the steps again, he watched snowflakes drift down from the clouds. He had always liked snow, but he liked it twice as much now. He felt happy, and when he was happy, he liked everything twice as much. He began to murmur to himself, Super dog, eh? Houdini, they call you? I'll feed you so much sleepiness you won't take 4 steps before you keel over. Your days are numbered, mongrel dog. Because O'Malley did not keep tranquilizers in stock, he could not bait Houdini's food on that day. The municipality would have to order some, but the next day, Superdog. Light-heartedly, he went to check his traps, and as he pluffed through the snow on snowshoes, his thoughts matched his vigorous sweeping strides. From Superdog to Sleeping Dog, I'll get you at last. Left me sprawling in mud, come flying out of a culvert, jumped on a flat car, setting up house next to my backyard, letting them sing songs about you and draw pictures of you. But I'll get you, Houdini. Get you with tranquil dog food. Then you'll be a sleeping dog, and I'll let the sleeping dogs be. He felt better than he had in weeks. He was a new man. The idea of tranquilizers had made him creative, even poetic. So many times he had plowed through the snow. So many times he had been in the woods, and they had been just snow and trees to him. But now he saw them with a fresh eye. The crunching snow was a glittering carpet beneath the bright sun. The trees were pretty with it, cupping patches of it in their branches, and the trees themselves, how cathedral-like. His traps had caught a rich harvest: 3 beavers, a red fox, 7 martens, and an otter. My luck has turned, he said aloud. Now I'll get him. Back at home, he was bubbly and warm. He even called his wife Love, much to her surprise. She hadn't seen him this way for a long time. He was skinning the animals, working in the annex which adjoined the kitchen. It was a large room, added for just this purpose of skinning animals and hanging the pelts. It was heated by a wood stove which sputtered loudly. As he skinned the first beaver, he hummed merrily to himself. You caught the dog, Rod. She made it a statement instead of a question. Not yet, dear, not yet. But I will. I got a plan. I sure hope you catch him. He looked up. You mean that? Of course I mean it, she said. You must be one of the few. Oh? She asked. Whole town is infatuated with that mongrel dog. Even my friends secretly love him. Godfrey Ames even. Whole lot of them. Superdog they call him. Houdini, of all things. Houdini. He was scornful. I've heard. I don't like a dog making fun of my husband, she said. And the people, happy that a dog makes fun of a man? I'll pour you another coffee. Picking up his empty cup, she stepped back into the kitchen. I'm with you, Rod. It's not right for a dog to be acting like that. It's not right for it to be eating into you like this." Her words made him feel even better. He sipped his coffee as he went on skinning. About this time, Red O'Malley came home from school. "Hi, Mom," he said, dropping his bag in the nearest corner. "Pop home yet?" "Yes." The boy poked his head around the door of the annex. The sight of the animals lying on the side table and the skinning taking place under the skilled hands of his father made his eyes brighten. "Hi, Pop," he said. "Hi," said his father. Growing bolder, Red stepped into the room and cautiously began to explore the deep furs of the animals lying there. When he pulled away his hands, they were wet from the thawed snow. Then he began to weigh each animal in his hand. "Can I go with you next time, Pop?" "Nope." "This weekend?" "Nope." "Gee, you never take me with you, not even on weekends." "Go do your schoolwork." "Can't I just stay and watch?" "Out!" "Aww," the disappointed boy scoffed out. His mother met him at the door. "Don't bother your father, Red." "I wasn't bothering him." "Go and do your homework." "It's done already," he told his mother. "I did it at school." "Well, bring in some firewood for your father's stove." "Yes, Mom." After changing into work clothes, Red dutifully began to fetch firewood from the stack outside. He unloaded it into the wood box slowly, giving himself a chance to watch his father skinning and stretching. As soon as he was finished, he vanished from the house. He would go and see his friend Altie, unless Altie and his father had gone off on their snowmobile. He wished his family had a snowmobile, but what would be the use? His dad would probably not take him out anyway, nor let him ride it alone. Working skillfully, O'Malley once again felt the joy of victory flood through him. The mayor was looking after the tranquilizer. It would be in his hands tomorrow. Tonight, he could sleep light. He knew that tonight the dog would have one last night of good sleep. Then he would sleep forever. For tomorrow he would have him. And since he had no owner, he would then be destroyed. Goodbye, Super Dog. Goodbye, Houdini. End of chapter 7.